What is up? Welcome back to another episode of Going Beyond the Castle. I am super excited to be back this week for episode 13, which we are super excited about because we have my boss on the podcast, Miss Shelley, who recently took an adventure on the Disney Treasure. So we're going to dive into talking about her trip on the Disney Treasure, as well as her experience with Disney Cruise Line. So super excited for this week's episode. Of course, with me as always is my fabulous co-host, Ms. Lori Talamo. And we just want to give a quick shout out to everybody for our podcast. We hit 250 listens on our audio only podcast the other day. So,
Sweet.
13 episodes, 250 listens is, in my opinion, it's a fabulous number. So super excited for that. We're up to over 1,600 views on YouTube. So definitely shout out to all of our followers, all of our listeners. We really appreciate you guys going beyond the castle with us each week. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Lori, and we're going to dive into some pretty great announcements, especially because one of them is food related, which we all know is my motivation in life. So Lori, I'll turn it over to you, and we'll talk announcements.
Yeah, so super exciting that Disney actually released free dining again. Yes, this is a coveted perk that's been gone for a little while, and so super excited. I actually had a client who was scheduled to go in October, and last night they decided to change over to July so they can take advantage of the free dining, which is awesome because their package pricing pretty much stayed the same. But now they're getting free dining. So that is definitely a win-win. It's mainly over the summer months. So it starts on May 27th and it'll run through August 6th. Of course, 4th of July week or a couple of days, 4th of July are excluded. But this is, I think, a way to kind of boost some summer activity. I know summer is not always the best to go because it's hot, but I've been there the last 2 summers. So if you have questions on how to beat the heat, I'm happy to help. And the free dining always is a good perk to have. And then also at the same time, they released a new promotion up to 30% on some of the Disney resort hotels. So depending on which resort you stay in, it could be a little less than that, but you could save up to 30% if for some reason your reservation doesn't qualify for the free dining. So
I actually
it's give or take.
One yesterday. I had my bounce back trip booked, and I had that trip scheduled for March, and I moved it to August so we can hopefully go to D23. And it actually was cheaper to use I think it was like 25-30% off compared to my bounce back offer. So
yeah, and
that's offer for rooms only.
Yeah, and that's one of the good things too, is that you can compare the different promotions and see which one is better. Some folks rather have the room discount and pay for food as you go. Some folks like to have the free dining. That way, your food is covered and you don't have to worry about paying for food as you go. So either way, this one isn't really a new promotion, but I thought maybe since we were talking about Disney Cruise Line, it would be worth mentioning. There is a Disney Plus subscribers promotion out there where you could save 50% on children. I cut off half my notes. Yes. So the 3rd and 4th guests under 18 can save up to 50%. So that's pretty decent promotion as well. Another one that I thought maybe was good to mention, although it's not a free perk that we've been able to book for a while now, but it is live now, where the free water park day on arrival is now active since we're in 2025. So if you book a vacation,
water park now.
Well, so Josh and I are not going to do water slides, especially because we're going in February, but it may be worth it to go and just visit because I haven't done the water park. So I thought maybe it'd be good to just go and check it out that day and kind of get some information to pass along. So we may just go visit, but definitely not planning to get wet over there in February. Although I'm sure a lot of the stuff is heated. So yeah, we're not real big water park fans. So I have a phobia of public pools and stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Although I'm sure Disney's very clean. And then one of the big things, and I've been researching because after the snafu last week with the Moana, I want to make sure, but reports are saying that today was the last day to ride Big Thunder Mountain. So if you go tomorrow and you can ride it, I'm super happy. Let us know. But as of what I'm seeing right now from some of the major blogs is that today was the last day. So kind of a disappointment. That's one of Josh's favorite rides. So we won't get to do that when we go in February, but that'll be down for a significant time. So once we get some more information on when it's planning to be back open, which is not scheduled to be until sometime next year, we'll let everyone know. And
but
that's
in
about
reality,
it.
it's worth it because of what is coming after the reopening.
Absolutely.
Of Thunder Mountain.
Yes, definitely. Definitely going to be worth it. So,
and I didn't cars.
Yes, I cannot wait. I know it's so funny because we don't have a family trip planned. We usually go in the summer when it's super hot. But we decided as a family, not we, some of the family decided they didn't want to do that again this summer. And now Olivia is dying. She keeps sending us, like she found out they're closing. It's tough to be a bug. So she's like, oh my gosh, we need to go. She found out Dino Land is, although we've been announcing this for a while, but they don't listen to me.
Dino Land can go. Get rid of it.
I'll tell you, that was her favorite area. So when they took out the Primeval World, she was super upset. So she's like, we really need to go back. So we'll see. She wants me to try to convince her dad, but I don't know if it'll happen.
Hey, look, I hear the end of August, specifically the 28th through September 1st, is a fabulous time to go to Disney World.
Yeah, unfortunately, she cannot go at that time because of cheer.
No, that sounds like her problem.
I know. It's summer or not, so.
Yeah, that's fair.
So we'll see. Yeah, but lots of exciting things, lots of promotions. So definitely reach out. Fred and I are happy to help you guys take advantage of some of those promotions.
Yeah, stick around because at the end of the episode, we'll drop some ways that you can get a hold of us and request some quotes to Disney. Okay, is that all the announcements? It was.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't go into Universal anything. Try to keep it timely today.
Who cares about Universal?
We'll see. We'll see if we do better today.
What was that, Shelley?
I was just going to say, I know we don't want to go into Universal too much because we're talking mainly about Disney Cruise, but this dining is right in line with Epic. So people can kind of do both of those.
Back it up.
Epic.
Yeah.
2 vacations, 1. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I'm ready for Epic too.
Okay, well, we'll transition over to all things Disney Treasure. Super excited as Disney Treasure is one of Disney's Cruise Line's newest ships. And luckily, Shelley had the opportunity to go on a preview cruise back in
December.
Yes. So super excited to hear about the Disney Treasure. I know you shared some fabulous photos, which I will have to share some of those photos. Lori and I have talked briefly about, the Haunted Mansion parlor, just some gorgeous features on this ship. So I guess we'll dive in and we'll just start with some questions. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what your experience with Disney Cruise Line is?
I absolutely can. I can tell you that I'm actually a little embarrassed to say that my history with Disney destinations goes back so far that Disney Cruise Line didn't even exist.
Nice.
So I started in the industry in 1993. I cringe every time I say that. It's so hard to believe it. But, Disney Cruise Line wasn't a thing in 1993. The maiden voyage of the Magic didn't happen until 98. So I've been around, I've seen it all. So my background, though, I have sailed on all of the ships. All now that I've sailed on the Treasure, I've sailed on all 6 ships. I have sailed a total of 15 times. I did have to look that up. I wasn't sure how many, but before this I joined you tonight, I did take a few minutes to see exactly how many times I've sailed with Disney Cruise Line. So it is 15. I'm aiming for that Pearl Castaway key number. I mean, it's Pearl 50 times. So I'm going there, but it's going to take a while, I'm afraid.
That's okay. Well,
That's
you'll
awesome.
get there eventually. Man.
Yeah. I started going when my daughter was born, and so and she's 25 now. So that tells you long time now.
We were talking about it. I wish, coming from being born and raised in Kentucky, cruises were never something we talked about just because it required so much travel. But now living in New Orleans, like Lori and I talked about it, I think on last week's episode, really wish they would bring a cruise line back here to New Orleans port because I would jump on a Disney cruise in a heartbeat, which I think they do. It's just so rare to see them down here in New Orleans.
Yeah, I was so sad when they took the ship away. I'm like, I wish I would have taken advantage of sailing out of here when it was not that we can't travel somewhere, but I feel like it would have been a little bit easier to jump on the ship here in New Orleans.
Yeah.
But
maybe
anytime you don't have to deal with flights and delays or possible delays or schedule changes, anything like that, it always makes vacation a little bit easier, for sure.
Yeah.
So you've seen a lot of ships. You've seen every cruise line that Disney Cruise Line has.
Yes.
What would you say your first impression was when you saw the Disney Treasure?
That's, I'm going to tell you that when I first saw all of the artist renderings of the Treasure, I have to admit, I thought it was going to be a very dark looking ship. Just the motif, the photos that they were showing, I thought it was going to be really dark and I thought I was going to not like it. But of course, the moment that you step on board, you're just in awe of all of the things that Disney continues to listen to. They are excellent in all of the parks, on the cruise ships, everywhere. They're excellent at listening to the guest and really making sure that every detail, the attention to detail is just spot on. So breathtaking the moment you walk on, for sure.
Yeah, the lobby itself, which I mean, we'll eventually get into some other parts of the ship, but just the photos and videos that you shared with us of the lobby itself, just gorgeous, such a gorgeous lobby.
And they're so grand about like that whole grand hall when you're walking in and I don't know if the two of you have ever sailed before, but when you walk onto the ship, they announce you by name.
Yeah.
The Eastmer family is here, and you just feel so regal. And you walk into this enormous room that is just, you've got the characters waving to you. It is truly spectacular. Just amazing.
Yeah, I haven't sailed, but we did do an agency trip and we were able to tour one of the ships. And we were there at the time when guests were coming on board. And I was like, gosh, especially for small kids, to walk in and feel so special that their name being announced and, they're like celebrities walking onto this, amazing ship. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
One day. I haven't been on Disney Cruise Line, but one day.
We'll get you there. You're going. Yes. You'll get those
one day.
Kids on.
I am having
That's the reason.
Yeah. I'm having serious FOMO because my agency's doing a trip in a couple of weeks on a Disney cruise, but my daughter's a competitive cheerleader and it just didn't work out for us to be able to go because this is prime competition time. So I'm like, I keep looking and I'm like, because we actually have a couple agents that just booked yesterday. And I'm like, man, so there's still time, but I just can't make it work. I know.
Yeah. There'll be other opportunities. You need to be with your children too. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Yeah.
So fabulous ship, the Disney Treasure. How would you say it compared to the other Disney ships that you've been on?
They really do keep improving. So the two ships that came out originally, the classic ships, the Magic and the Wonder, are smaller, so then they went up to the Fantasy and the Dream. So they're a little bit larger than the two classic ships. Two new ships, the Wish and the Treasure, are sister ships. So they're identical to each other. The theming is different.
Yeah.
Among, as you're walking in, you've got Aladdin and Jasmine right there. You've got, it's more of a kind of a Moroccan theme. The coloring, all of the stage, everything is just themed different than the others. But honestly, I like the last four ships the most. I'm not going to complain at all. I would take a sailing on the Magic and the Wonder in a heartbeat, but I tend to like the little bit bigger of the ships. I think that the restaurants, I love how they've improved a lot of the rotational dining restaurants that they've done. Just the public areas, they've done a fantastic job as well. Like I said a few minutes ago, they really do listen to the guests and work to really make things better.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Love it. Love it.
Yeah. So now we want to talk a little bit with you on your cabin. So what type of cabin did you stay in on this voyage?
So we were in one of the preview cruises, like Fred said. We were only on a short 3 nights. Now this ship, the Treasure, does a 7-night itinerary normally. So our experience was, pretty short, definitely not long enough. I could have stayed on for so many more days and still had plenty to do. We were put in a deluxe ocean view stateroom with veranda. Now, with the staterooms on Disney Cruise Line, one of the things I absolutely love about many of the staterooms is the split bathrooms. That gives the families that are in those staterooms the ability to get ready at the same time. So you have one bathroom that is the shower and a sink, and then another bathroom that is the toilet and a sink. And so that gives the ability for, as people are getting ready, as, teens, children, parents are all trying to get ready in this stateroom, it gives you the flexibility that you're not tripping over each other for everybody trying to get into the bathroom. So our stateroom did have the split deluxe, has the split bathrooms. Our theming was Luca. And there are many different themes within the, so you've got Pocahontas, you've got Aladdin, you've got Encanto, Up, Finding Nemo, and then Luca, like I just said. And then the concierge rooms are Lion King themed. So you've got a variety of different theming throughout the different rooms. But, if you have a deluxe ocean view with veranda, you are going to have the rooms going to be basically the same. It's just the theming within it is going to be just a little bit different. Lovely room though. Lots of storage. They have done a fantastic job. I noticed it immediately that even on this particular, on the Treasure, in the staterooms that I was in and the staterooms that I was able to tour, they've done a great job of increasing the storage. So the beds are now higher, so you can get luggage underneath your beds, so you don't have to worry about where you're going to put your luggage. So that is fantastic. You're not tripping over that. But I also noticed that there's more closet space within these cabins, which is definitely nice as well. The cabins have a small refrigerator, so if you've got anybody, if they need anything medical refrigerated, or you have small kids and you want to have milk handy, really nice to be able to have that small refrigerator there. And so you don't have to go up to deck to get milk or something to drink. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know when we vacation, I'm definitely team, as soon as I get there, unpack and store the suitcases. And then one of the things that we do, I'm sure I'm probably not the only one, is like, then I use the suitcases for dirty clothes. So at the end of the day, we throw the clothes in the suitcase. And so, and then by the time we leave, we'll have dirty suitcases, and any clean clothes left over, we'll throw them in another one. So definitely
Yeah.
love having the extra space for that. Are you typically, and I know this was a little bit different sailing, but like typically, are you a aft, middle, or forward? Like, do you have a preference?
I don't really have too much of a preference. I tend to sometimes get motion sickness. And so I tend to, if I'm selecting the cabin, I do tend to do kind of the middle of the ship.
Mhm.
Our particular stateroom was aft. No problems whatsoever. Not once did I feel any, as the ships get more and more sophisticated with the technology and everything, they really are doing a great job. And I didn't feel any movement whatsoever. But I have a question for you, Lori. You just mentioned the dirty laundry that you get. Are you team washer and dryer when you're on vacation, or are you just like stick it in the suitcase and let's do it when you get home?
Stick it in a suitcase and do it when I get home.
Okay. Well, if you were going to tell me that you were let's get some laundry done while we're away, there are laundry facilities. There is an amazing laundry facility right on the Treasure. So you can do your laundry, pack it away, and when you get home, you just unpack.
That's me.
That's you, Fred?
I'd be
That's
doing
me too.
laundry.
That's me too.
So yeah. So I'll admit, in our house, my husband does all the laundry.
Okay. So he might be doing that.
I do all the laundry
it's
in our
like-
house too. So yeah.
Yeah. And so when we're on vacation, we're like, oh, we'll just do it when we get home because he's gonna. I mean, I do help. I do help, but for the most part, he does the laundry, so it's fine. Let's pack it and get to it when we get home.
I love
And I
staying
have
in
also-
a resort with a washer and
Yeah.
dryer, just because I can put it in and leave and come back to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we never thought about just kind of doing it that way. When we get home, we don't have to. So maybe when we go in February, I'll have to check it out. But I've also mastered, like, I only do a carry-on. And then I also have like one of the backpacks that's like a luggage backpack. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm 7 days and like everything goes in the carry-on in the backpack. I don't check luggage. So
Okay, well, you're better than me on that. I have to admit, I'm not very good with that. Definitely not.
I don't. We just kind of got in the habit of not checking it, and I'm like, you know what? It's so much easier. We're just going to roll with it. So far, I've been able to make it work. So we'll see. We'll see how it works.
Awesome.
So you talked a lot about the features already in the cabin. Were you able to tour any of the other cabins, or were you kind of limited to?
Yeah, no, they had an opportunity for us to be able to go. They had several cabins of different categories available and open, so you could just kind of walk through when you had an opportunity. And it was really wonderful because there weren't a lot of people in them. So when I would get to a cabin, I more than likely was probably the only person there, and I could walk through and get some really nice pictures. So that was really amazing. The only one that I ran into a lot of people on was the funnel suite, the Tomorrowland suite.
Yes, I was going to ask if you went through that one. This is the one I keep telling Lori about.
Yes, amazing. Just incredible that it's like a house. It really is a house. Upstairs, downstairs, there's several.
Wow.
Like they're full, a full kitchen. You can have Paulo come and cater in your room. Just amazing.
And it's all Epcot themed. Like
yeah.
I love Epcot, so that would just be my dream suite to stay in.
Yeah, it really was amazing. Just the touches, like I looked at some of these walk-in closets and thought, this is bigger than my closet at home.
Yeah.
But,
I remember when
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just going to say, even the kids' rooms in some of these suites, the bunks and the stars on the ceiling. I mean, they just know, or the small robes for kids. They just know what kids are going to absolutely love, and those memories that you're able to create.
Yeah, I thought it was super neat when we did the walkthrough and the inside cabins with the portholes that have the videos and
yeah.
So, I mean, even though you're inside and don't have a window, you still have something. And so it doesn't, I guess, maybe feel so claustrophobic because you have some kind of video. No, it was definitely super cool. It's on my bucket list to do a Disney cruise. one of these
Yes, you
days.
do. Yeah, it really is a wonderful, wonderful vacation for kids. And you know what? It's wonderful as adults. And I've done it both ways. We grew up with my kids growing, and they absolutely to this day, as long as I say I'm paying, they're there.
Right.
They're right there, ready to go with us. But my husband and I have also been on Disney cruise just as two adults. You know, there are definitely amazing spots that adults can just kind of get tucked away um, and enjoy the ship. It really is fantastic for families as well as just adults
Yeah.
only.
I just had a plan. So my 25-year anniversary is in 2 years, and we talk about doing, like some type of fall renewal. So I'm going to have to convince Josh that we'll do it on the Disney cruise
Dibs
because,
on being there.
you're invited.
Yes.
You'll be there.
Not the kids though.
Yeah. And my kids are older. So I have a 17 and a 20-year-old. So I keep saying kids, but they're older, but they're still my kids.
No,
so.
yeah, my kids are older too, but they're still my kids. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
always going to be your kids. Yes, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
All right, so I think that was good for the cabin experience. Very thorough. Thank you for sharing that information.
Sure. Yes.
And now we turn it over to Fred for his. You know what? And I didn't plan this.
Look, you should have just kept it. I was going to give you credit for planning it this way.
I literally just was like, okay, Fred, Lori for topics, but you got the perfect topic for yourself.
Let's talk food on the Disney Treasure. How was the food? Because that's what I really care about.
Food was wonderful. We did a combination of a lot of things. We did, of course, the rotational dining. Disney has done from day one when they brought all of their first ship out. They've always had the rotational dining. So you spend each meal in a different restaurant each night, and it's just like there's 3 restaurants and you rotate amongst those. Wonderful because your servers follow you. So your head server, your all of your wait staff, they are with you every single night, even though you are switching restaurants.
Nice.
So they get to know you. They know what you want to drink every night, and they have it there ready for you as you walk in. So we started out in 1923 was our first evening. We then went to Coco, and they have an amazing show that goes on at Coco. And then we did the World of Marvel was our last evening. And again, it really super fun. The music in this World of Marvel, it was more of like my generation type thing, more 80s. Mm-hmm. And so that was really fun for me to hear all of those songs that they were playing. A lot of interactive. They, ask questions, and then you have this on your table. You can kind of chime in to answer the questions as it's going through. But they have some really nice presentation that goes on through there as well. In addition to that, that's just the rotational dining that everybody is included with their dining. But you've got the adult dining options. You've got Palo, and I absolutely love to say this, enchanté. Now, I've never eaten it enchanté, but I really need to because I just love saying the word. But I did eat at Palo's. We had brunch at Palo's, and it was spectacular. If anybody ever has an opportunity to do brunch at Palo's, unbelievable meal. So highly recommend that. Great opportunity to have the kids in the kids program, maybe little ones in the nursery, and then just go and enjoy a nice brunch. So wonderful option for adults there.
So are the adult options they're separate from the rotational dining?
Yes.
Are they
And
an extra cost?
They are an additional cost. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That the rotational dining, like you said, is included in the cost of your trip.
Okay. Yep. But if you decide to do those, and that's on all the ships, they have different restaurants that are the specialty dining that if you decide to do them, they are an upcharge. But it's, depending on which one, they're not terrible when you consider how much food that you're getting and the experience that you're getting. But yes, they are an upcharge.
Yeah. I mean, with any Disney food that you get, like, it's just, you're going to get more food than you can probably eat. Like, and that's one of the things I love about Disney.
Absolutely. And I will say, I was with somebody that has recently found out that she's got some allergies. So, kind of to experience it, she mentioned to them, that she
Yep.
has a little bit of a food or an egg allergy, and they were so, so, so very attentive to her. Every time, any meal she would go to, it was recorded, so they knew immediately, and they would bring it up to her. And I asked her what she wanted, if she needed any special like butter or bread or anything like that. They were very, very attentive to that.
You say that
Yeah.
we've actually got Lauren and Lori. I hate that I
Right?
keep interrupting you. We've actually
No,
got
go ahead.
Lauren Miller coming on in 2 weeks.
Good.
She's going
Good.
to be talking all the food, doing Disney with food allergies, and so I'm super excited for that
She's
episode.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never dealt with that because I don't have food allergies. I've never been with anybody that's had food allergies. So I'm super excited to get into that.
Yeah, she is just talking to her and all of the experience that she's had with her son and even her daughter, but mostly her son. Really impressive of, the chefs that she's in contact with, and just she's amazing at that niche within, for
Yeah,
sure. Within
yeah,
Disney.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Laura, you can talk now.
No, one, two things now, which I know you saw it. I was going to give you a shout out because one of my besties, Bethany, gave you a shout out for your lovely Eagles jersey, even though I still love Bethany. We had this conversation
Eagles
before we
fly.
went live about Fred's Eagles jersey.
Can
But
I
anyway,
say go Bills?
there you
Absolutely.
go.
Go
Yes.
Bills.
Look, and I give people a hard time. I don't really watch football, so it doesn't me. But when being in New Orleans, you have to give some flack to your rival teams, I guess. And
Yeah.
I'm
Did we lose her? I think
I
we
think
lost
we
her.
might have lost her. She's frozen.
She is. She'll come back in eventually. I like how she didn't get to ask her questions, but
No, and actually, I like that. Yeah, her face didn't freeze either. I mean, it froze in a nice. Normally, your mouth is wide open when it freezes.
right? We've never
Mhm.
had anybody freeze on a live stream before. We'll let her come back in when
So
she.
absolutely. And the other thing, though, I did want to mention about food, though, Fred, is there's other options. There's the buffet option. So Marshallines Market is
Yep.
available for people, so they can always go there and get any kind of food for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And then there is also right near the pool area. There's I have to stop and think here for a second. Mickey and Friends Festival of Food. So it's
Oh,
different. Kind of think of it like almost like a quick service type thing where you walk up to it and you say, "I would like a burger," or and then
right,
next is going to be like tacos or pizza or hot dog. So nice opportunities for people just to be able to grab and go, and all of
right.
that is all included with the meal or I'm sorry, with the cruise as well. So even though there's plenty of options for people that if they don't want to do those specialty restaurants, they absolutely don't. There are many options that are great right on the ship.
I'm back.
Welcome
You're
back,
back.
Lori.
I'm like, the weather hasn't even started yet, and my internet connection just went out. So I'm like, what's going on here? But here I
That's
am.
awesome.
So you didn't even get to your
Anyway.
questions, or if you did, we didn't hear your
Well,
questions.
it was just, yeah, I was just going to make a comment on the dining staff rotating with you. I think that is so awesome that they do that, because I know one of the things when you go on a cruise and you go to the same dining room every night, they learn the things that you like to drink and they'll have it ready for you when you get there. And so with the rotational dining, I think it's awesome that your wait staff goes with you. That way you keep that level of service as you're rotating
Yeah.
throughout the different dining.
For sure.
So
For sure.
that was it.
Yeah. And they're great about learning your name, calling you by name. Yeah, they really do. Disney Cruise Line is definitely top notch with all of that. They really train very, very well to make sure the people are, the crew is really attentive to whatever it is the guests need.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a special skill set to be able to remember that many people's names.
Oh, 100%. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for food. If you want to shift focus over to some entertainment stuff, Lori.
Yeah, so I know it was like again, we know it was a preview sailing. Did they have shows and some of the entertainment available for you guys to kind of
They
see what it's
did.
like?
They did. They had 3 shows for us. And just, one of the questions that one of the agents had just recently, and so I want to make sure people realize that there's always going to be 2 shows a night. So if you have early dining at 5:45, you go to the late show.
Mhm.
If you have late dining at 8:15, you go to the early show. And I know that was something that a question came up just recently from an agent. So I want to make sure that people realize that you're not going to miss out on a show if you have one dining or the other. This cruise line, Disney Cruise Line, is Broadway style shows. They're spectacular. So when we were on the ship, we had with 3 nights, so we had 3 different shows. We had the first one was called, hold on. Disney Seas of Adventure. That was the first one. The second night was Tale of Moana. And the third was Beauty and the Beast. Now, I will tell you, I've seen the Beauty and the Beast, fabulous, amazing. But when I tell you, I was speechless with Moana. I'm still speechless when I
That's
think
what I've
about it.
heard about that show. Like
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I've heard some
Unbelievable.
crazy things about that show.
Just spectaculars, from the bubbles that were falling from the sky at one point, and they would pop, and then the smoke would come out of them, and just amazing. Just the people that, the team that put it all together, the singers, everything was just spectacular. If I could have watched that for 3 nights straight, I absolutely would have.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just
That's
great.
awesome.
But no lie, every single show that they have really is pretty spectacular. They are masters of making, something transform right in front of you, and you don't even realize that it's happening.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, they just took it up, a next level with this particular. They really took the entire, not only the stage, but the entire wall of the stage. And there's a lot of lighting that they were along the walls of the stage. So not only was it the stage and all of the people on the stage, but it was also the entire wall around, where they were able to bring in the lights and so much to just really kind of immerse you into the whole show. So it was just fantastic.
Sweet. So
Yeah.
were there any other onboard activities that you participated
Oh,
in
so
or were
many.
able to observe?
Yeah. So one of the really cute things that they have, and this goes back to that grand hall, when you're walking into the ship for the very first time and kind of seeing this, kind of standing in the middle of the ship, and seeing all of the different levels of the decks. There is a stage that's right there, and they have little performances that they do. So the one night we came out of dinner, and actually we came out of our show, and we were kind of walking around and just kind of exploring. And they had Aladdin being performed right on this little stage. They had all the kids sitting, parents and kids sitting in front of the stage. And then what was really, really cute afterwards is Aladdin and Jasmine came off the stage and really interacted. After it was over, interacted with all of the kids that were there. So they got pictures taken. And so it was really, really cute to kind of see that. There's also Sarabi's. I think I'm pronouncing that right. That is another area where there's a lot of interactive, like there's games going on that, on big screens in front of you. So a lot of entertainment that, it's not just the shows. Probably you already know this, but just in case, they've got movie theaters on board the ships, first run. So if something's brand new in the theater, it's going to be brand new the same day in right on the ships too. So that's another way that you can, see some of the wonderful shows. If you have the time, see some of the wonderful movies that are in the theaters right now.
Awesome. Are there any other unique or special activities? I don't know if you like walk by like the pool deck or.
So they
The
have this
fort.
wonderful hero zone. I don't know if you've heard of the hero zone. They have it on the Wish, and now they have it on the Treasure, and it's a family recreation space. So a lot of times they'll have like blow up obstacle courses, and so you can sit there and watch families try and get through this obstacle course and see who the winner is. And then they have like pool and uh, table. What's oh my gosh, I'm trying to blank the
Ping pong.
yeah, they have ping pong and they air hockey. Air
Oh,
hockey, they've
yeah.
got those too. So it's just a nice place that families can go different times, and then they've got different activities that are kind of happening. So that's super fun as well. And then of course they have um, basketball. They've got putt golf, so there's a ton of things that you can do. Of course, there's pools. There's a little splash zone for the little ones if there's any kids that need want to go into want to get wet but can't necessarily go into the pools. They've got
Into
a
the
little
pool.
splash zone, so super cute.
Yeah, I imagine there's a ton of activities that you can definitely find something
100%,
at
yeah.
any given time.
Yeah. And the nice thing too is they really have transferred everything onto the app. And so again, I'm dating myself, but back in 1998, when they first started sailing, everything was on paper. And so, you had to go get your daily itinerary. I can't remember what they called it at the time, but you had to pull that out and look at what time and see what everything, what time something's happening, and then you could go to it. But now everything's right on the app.
Yep.
And so you are easily able to pull out that app and even star things that are of interest to you, so that it reminds you to make sure that you go to those things. Yeah, really fun.
Sweet.
Definitely did not have enough time. I will tell you, 3 nights is not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough.
Yeah, I
Never
imagine.
enough time to fully experience anything that Disney has.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you get another fun one, Fred.
I do. Let's talk alcohol.
Food and alcohol, Fred.
It's really what motivates me in life. Did you get tell us about the lounges that you got to experience?
So we did really visit. We walked through all of the We at least walked through all of the lounges.
Right.
So you mentioned at the very top of this, you mentioned the Haunted Mansion Lounge, which was absolutely spectacular. Skipper Canteen, or no, I'm sorry, Skipper Society. We did not get to be able to go and have a drink there. The night we were going to go, it was jam packed. There was not a seat to be found, so we did not stop there. But instead, we went over to Scat Cat and had a nice drink at Scat Cat. These are all in the same area, very, very close to each other. But when I was there, when we were on the ship, our ship was not full. And so we did not have a problem getting into the Haunted Mansion. So I did go into it a couple different times. Super cool. If you're a fan of the Haunted Mansion rides at the parks, really they did a phenomenal job once again of bringing that alive. You could be sitting in one of the seats and all of a sudden the artwork comes alive and starts talking. There's it really is
one day.
Yeah. They have a special menu, so you can look at the iPad and pick what you want to drink. But if you do things right, there's almost like a game. You fill in words, and all of a sudden, this special menu comes in, and you've got special different offerings that they can have. I ordered a drink, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it was called. But when they gave it to me, they did a light over it, and it had words over.
I saw your video on it.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool as well. There was even one of the seats. If you were sitting in one of the seats, you could hear the ghosts behind you in conversation talking. So the attention to detail was just spot on. Just they do nothing. They really do their research, and they know, what people are going to love, and it really was wonderful. I wish I had been able to spend some time at Skipper Society. Scat Cat was fun. Another for adults, again, if you have just adults traveling, they have a bar called The Rose, which is in a beautiful location, all windows. on the one side of it. So, depending on the time of day, you could have a beautiful, sunset, nice place to go and watch the sunset type of thing. Periscope Pub was another really fun lounge to go to. So we did have a drink. We went in there and spent some time in there. They did have some of the different sports that were going on there while we were on the ship. So you could go there to watch.
Nice.
But you feel like you're in a submarine. I mean, it really is pretty cool. You've got windows above you, and you can see the fish flying, or not flying, I'm sorry, swimming over you. I was told that was filmed in Epcot. And so they took that so those are true fish filmed from Epcot in that lounge. Yes. So that was pretty cool. Sarabi, I mentioned a little while ago, is kind of a lounge, but like I said, it also has the family activities in there, like the game shows and things like that. And then and the Rose. And I'm trying to think, I think that's all of the lounges that they had, and we did make our way through them. So it was we did a pretty good job of at least walking through them if we didn't stop and have something to drink or eat at them. So
yeah.
I know Fred and I have talked before about lounges at the parks and how we we don't want to go to a lounge at the park. I mean, I know there's folks that do it, but I can tell you, I would definitely be visiting the lounges on the cruise ship.
Yeah.
And
that's a difference.
And then go sit.
Yeah. Well, the good thing with me is I could just leave my kids wherever because they're old enough now. I'm like, see you. I'm going to the lounge.
I mean, I could do that too.
Your kids are older, so that's easier for you. But Fred, with littler ones, and I know we're going to talk about kids areas, but those areas are so fun for those kids, and so it makes it so easy for those kids, for any child, to want to go in there and play around in those areas, and they're having fun. They're safe.
Yep.
That they are just well, you get bands, you get the ways for them to contact you if they need you to come back. They've got a way to contact you. So you as an adult can go and have a little bit of time too. So it really is a fantastic where your child's being taken care of. Your child's having an amazing trip and experiencing some fun things. But you can also go and experience a little lounge yourself.
Yeah. One of the things our friend Jimmy's listening, and he would appreciate. I saw that the Periscope Pub has like 17 beers on tap. So I don't know if you're.
I am not a beer person, but
I'm not either.
I mean, they had some nice selections there.
I'll go.
Yeah. There you go.
Something for everyone.
How would you say that the lounges on the Disney Treasure compared to some of the other ships that you've been on? I mean, I know we talked briefly about, Disney really does a good job of listening and adapting their next ship based off of feedback, but
so I think I've on some of the classic ships, so like on the Magic and the Wonder, they have, and actually even the Dream and the Fantasy, they have the lounges more tucked away. In more of an adult only area, whereas these are kind of more right in the middle of everything. So the Skipper Society is actually, it's wide open. I mean, it's not, you don't have to walk in, there's no door, it's just wide open. It's almost like part of the, kind of near the lobby area. So, I mean, kids could walk in there. I think that they just make these a little bit more accessible. I do love the theming more on these newer ships that they've got, whereas it's like the Periscope pub and the Haunted Mansion and Star Wars. I think that they've done a nicer job with the theming in them than some of the classic ships, for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah, and of course, as we get more ships, Disney's got a lot of cruise lines or a lot of cruise ships planned for the future. Like I can only imagine them just getting even better because Disney and their Imagineers are always just come up with new stuff to just technology and just all the crazy stuff that they're using to improve their stuff. is just
I agree.
mind-blowing.
Every time I was on the Wish and I'm like, I don't know how they're going to top this. And now I was on the Treasure and I don't know how they're going to top
Yep.
this. They do it,
Yep.
Same thing even with when they bring out a new attraction in the park. You're like, how are they going to, Avatar. You're like, how are they gonna possibly outdo this? And then they bring Guardians of the Galaxy, So
Yeah.
they know how
Don't
to
get
do
Lori
it.
and I started on that ride.
Oh, I love it. We're going to Epcot in February just so I can ride Guardians.
Of
There you
course,
go.
you've got
So
to.
fun. Yeah.
Last food and drink question of the episode. I know earlier you mentioned a little bit about the secret menu from the Haunted Mansion Lounge. Would you say that there's any drinks or snacks from the lounges that just really stood out to you? That you would say, like, if you go on the Disney Treasure, you gotta try it.
In the lounges, I wouldn't necessarily. I'm trying to think. The drink I had was good, and honestly, I have to say I didn't think the prices were terrible. I thought
Mhm.
that they could have been a lot more expensive, and people would pay it. Um, One of the things, though, that I really enjoy in the newer ships, so the last 4 ships that they've had, is they've got a little area for sweets. So when you need that little sweet tooth, and I'm a big sweets person. I love the soft serve ice cream that's free.
Oh
Don't get
yeah.
me. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. I'm happy to go up and get it. But on the Disney Treasure, they have jambalaya. No, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me think of the name here for a second. Um, Jumbo's Sweets, and it was inspired by Zootopia.
Woo.
And it is all sweets. There's gelato, there's ice cream, there's cupcakes,
Yum.
there's cupcakes, you name it.
Mhm.
Now this is an additional cost, so
Yeah.
you may not want your kids to know that it's there, but if you need something that is just a little bit different than what you can find in maybe Marceline's Market or something like that, it is a really nice place to be able to go and just get something a little
Nice.
different, something a little
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
Well, that wraps it up for food and alcohol. Lori,
Yeah.
you can close us out with kids. Because I know
Kids,
Yeah.
kids, kids.
wanna
Yeah,
share.
and I know you touched on it a little bit, so you don't
Yeah.
have to elaborate too much unless there's some extra things. But were you able to visit the kids clubs on the Treasure?
Yes. So when we got on board, the day that we boarded, we were able to. It was open for everybody to walk through. No kids were in it yet. So yes, I was able to walk through it. Once again, out of the home run out of the park. They do such a great job within the Oceaneers Club. They have the Marvel Superhero Academy. They've got Star Wars Cargo Bay. They've got the Fairy Tale Hall, Walt Disney Imagineering Lab, and then they also have Mickey and Minnie's Captain's Deck. And so there are so many areas within the Oceaneers Club for everybody that comes in. You may not like Marvel, but hey, if you love Star Wars, you could spend hours and hours right there in that area. Just every detail, even as you are walking in, you've got little hand sanitizer stations. So and they're, kid size. So you walk in and the kids have to stick their hands into this hand sanitizer and the water and the soap, and then they take them out and then they wash their hands and then they can go in. So every detail, they just know they need to be careful. They have kids everywhere, and let's face it, there's germs. And so they
Right.
are really, really careful about even walking into all of the dining rooms. They're handing out, sanitation wipes for everybody to wash your hands. So just an amazing job with all of those different rooms.
Hmm.
In addition to that, they've got, if you have a little one, 6 months up to 3 years old, if you want to go have a little adult time or go to maybe one of those restaurants, they can do the nursery there. So you can put your child in there. And I did that when my kids were little. It's hard because, you've got little ones
Right.
that are a little stranger danger type thing. But what I did was when my kids were ready for naps, I would take them down there. I would put them in a crib. I would get them to sleep, and then I would go. And so that way I knew that they weren't giving the crew a hard time. They were sleeping. I was able to, my husband and I were able to go and just enjoy some time. And then, when their nap ended in, an hour, 2 hours, whatever they normally napped, I would go back and get them. So there's just something there for every family. You can do as much with this or as little. They will even, your kids can even spend time in the kids programs. I'm sorry, while eating dinner, like they will feed them if they're there during a meal period. There was one year, and this goes back several years ago, but we ourselves were going to one of the specialty restaurants, my husband and I. My kids were older, so they were probably a little bit younger than your kids, Lori, but they didn't want to go to the buffet. They wanted to go to the main dining room, and the wait staff was absolutely excellent. They're like, come on, the kids can come to the dining room by themselves. That's absolutely fine. So my kids went to the dining room for that evening, had dinner, and the wait staff helped them just like they did every other night. We weren't there, but it really, all of these little touches, it really is a spectacular vacation for families.
That's cool.
That's awesome. That was probably a tip that I've never even considered kind of passing on to clients. Because I know, some people, like you said, may be uncomfortable leaving kids or even the kid. Although I can say when we went, and any of my mouse counselor friends that are watching, I can, for the life of me, can't remember what ship we toured when we went, but just walking into the kids areas, I was, we went in Andy's room and it was like, this is like Andy's room. Like, I want to hang out here. Or in the teen area, I remember they had like the circular seats and you can, you lay in the seat and then above you can watch TV or whatever. I'm like, I would want to hang out there. But there's some that may be a little intimidated or uncomfortable, but that is an amazing tip of bringing them during nap time. That way, as a parent, you're comfortable knowing that your child is sleeping, like you said, and not giving the crew a hard time, but also that they're not having to feel, a little sad or, that the parents left them. So that's a really good tip. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And, don't forget there's Bippity Boppity Boutique right there.
Yep.
You can do that, run the ship with it. There's fireworks. So, there's all of the different shows like the Sail Away show. There is just something for everybody. And the characters are everywhere. So super exciting. It was wonderful vacation.
Yeah. Bethany just said it was the fantasy. So sweet. Oh. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I think that's pretty good for the kid stuff. I think that was a very good explanation. So we can move on.
Okay. Final thoughts, Shelley. Do you have any advice or words of wisdom for anybody that may be thinking of booking a trip on the Disney Treasure?
Do it. I know that it can be a little bit intimidating. Let's face it, the cost it's a luxury product. It is 100% a luxury product, but with Broadway style shows, with the food that you are going to get, the care from the staff or the crew, I should say. Really, it is a phenomenal vacation and, in my opinion, worth every penny.
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect.
I agree. Just do it.
Just do it. Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Just commit. When my kids are older, we'll commit.
Well, that's what I'm kind of thinking. Well, unless we do the anniversary thing, so then I'll have to take the kids along. But
yeah,
I'm like, maybe Josh and I will just do it one day.
Family cruise. We'll just all go.
Absolutely.
Going beyond the castle.
I'm surprised Olivia's not texting me right now and being like, no, you're not going without me.
Well, I think with that being said, that wraps up today's episode. Shelley, really appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely. Yes, for sure.
Fabulous feedback on the Disney Treasure.
Always fun to talk about Disney, for sure.
Yeah, of course. That's why we have a podcast about Disney.
Yeah.
So, Lori, if you want to give us a little sneak peek of what people can expect next week.
Yeah. So next week, we put this one off for a little bit to make some way for a holiday episode. So next week, we're going to dive into Disney dining plans, which I think is super fitting now that they have the new promotion that's out with the free dining. So we're going to dive in, talk about, the difference in the two dining plans, what you can expect, and maybe even throw in some of our favorite, locations. That way, give you guys some tips on the best way to use your dining plan and where to get the most for your money, unless you're going for the free dining plan, and then it's free. But yeah, it's fun. I can't wait to talk about it. And then we also had a little question. I'll have to throw it back up there for folks to guess on who's like for the dining plan and who kind of was hesitant between Fred and I. So we'll let y'all guess and see what's what. Did we lose Fred now?
Looks kind of frozen, doesn't he?
He does. While we're waiting for Fred to get back, why don't you, and one of the things, and I'll tease about it, like when we first started off, that Fred and I, worked for different agencies. But one of the things that I had to sit back and learn was that there's enough clients for everyone. We all can reach different folks, and there's, different people that will be able to assist in different things. So with that being said, I know you're a travel agent, so why don't you, let folks know where they can reach you? Cause I'm happy to share them with you tonight. So
I know Fred himself has several different platforms that I'm sure that we are EnchantAway Travel. We do have a website, EnchantAway.com. Our Instagram, EnchantAway, as well. But certainly, I love that you two are two totally different agencies, and you are doing this together. Like you said, there's enough business out there. There really is. And, there's no reason why we can't help each other out and be in this together, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that, my agency, and I know yours too, because Fred and I talk, is the collaboration and, and helping each other out. There's so many people in the world, and to be competitive, that's just not me. Yeah. It might've taken me a second to like, is this going to work? But, Fred and I made it work, and we're making it work. So definitely fun. And we go to church together. So it's like, we know each other on a personal level. And I love his girls. So I'm going to take them. I'm going to go babysit at Disney one time with them.
Let's go.
I'm sure he won't complain about that.
Right. Especially because I don't have any little babies anymore. So I tell him I'm practicing as grandma with,
there we go.
The church kids.
Yeah.
So. All right.
Did you already close this out?
Is it my big moment?
It's your big moment. It's your time to shine. You've been practicing.
It is my time to shine.
This.
I actually didn't practice, so we'll see. It's funny because Fred usually opens, and for the longest time I wouldn't close this out because he had this beacons page, and I'm like, I can't say it. So I'm like, so you close this out. So today I told him I was going to close this out. So we'll see if I can master Fred's closing statement. But first, I want to say, Shelley, it was super fun having you on. And I don't know if you've ever done a podcast or not before, but you did amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, very thorough. I think our listeners, and I shared it within my agency, and I shared it on another site, for people to come on and listen tonight. So that way, they can get some insight on Disney cruising. You did a fabulous job. We'll be happy to have you join us anytime. Other subjects, if you're interested. But with that said, we thank you guys for tuning in. Fred gave some statistics early on, and so we really appreciate the listeners that we've had so far. One thing that you can do for us is share and like our post, so that way we can get some more listeners and get some more information out there. If you're looking for information on a vacation request, you can visit us at our new website that Fred so graciously put together for us, which is www.goingbeyondthecastle.com. And if you want to connect with us on social media, you can, and listen to our podcast. You could stay up to date with everything that we have for you guys, all the things that we're putting out there. Of course, we love Disney, so we're Disney focused, but we do like to talk Universal. We have some cruising, like tonight. We'll have Virgin Voyages coming up soon. This is the one. You can find us on our Beacons channel at beacons.ai/going beyond the castle.
Good job.
Got it. I did it. If you want to reach out to us directly, you can shoot us an email at info@goingbeyondthecastle. See, now I'm not going to be able to talk. info@goingbeyondthecastle.com. I'm surprised my kids aren't like, they always make fun of me because when I say words, and you jumble them up, they like to tease me.
Oh, that's fair. I won't make a blooper out of this. It's fine.
You can. It's fun.
Well, let's get off here before somebody else drops off this because the
what's
internet
going on
in
tonight?
Louisiana is just
Is it my turn next? I don't know.
Apparently.
Yeah, the weather's supposed to get yucky tonight, so I guess it's just giving us an early start.
Yeah, apparently, because my internet just went away. Like I had no internet for like a minute.
That's what happened to me. Mine is like no internet connection. I'm like, the weather's not even bad yet. Maybe it's windy. I don't know.
Maybe. All right. Well, as always, for those tuning in, thank you. We appreciate it. Shelley, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Going Beyond the Castle. As always, we will see you guys next week as we continue to go beyond the castle. Goodbye.
Bye.
She just left. Ah!
Oh, she closed out.